Hey guys, it's RebelQueen. Okay, after a, after a few months and because of an unexpected little family emergency, I finally gotten Skyward Sword beaten. So I've got the full review for you guys now. Uh, First off, kind of like as Albion pointed out when we were doing the Nintendo Direct reaction video a couple days ago. First off, I just kind of want to say I am sorry about that, but with how long it has taken. But I honestly kind of do feel bad about that with how long it has taken. But as you guys kind of know, when we're in the middle of playing something and then something happens in our everyday life that forces us to kind of go, ah, crap, and put down our controllers to deal with that. We can't control that. But I still kind of feel bad, considering at first I kind of gave you guys somewhat of a timeline, considering I was doing pretty good and was beating a dungeon a night, and then all that happened. So it's like, I feel bad about that. I probably would have had this, though, and then I probably would have had the game beaten a few days sooner, but I was trying, and as Albion brought up again in the Direct, I was trying to do the boss rush, because in Skyward Sword, when you get to the boss rush, which is like way towards the end, you complete the boss. If you at a certain point in the boss rush, you get the absurdly strong shield, which is the Hylian shield, which is pretty much kind of like in Breath of the Wild. The Hylian shield is the unbreakable shield. And so it's like I was wanting to try and get that shield before I completed the game. But I could get close to defeating the number of bosses I needed to beat in order to get the Hylian shield, and then I would then get killed. I was like, God dang it. But so after trying it a couple more times, I'm like, screw this. Let's just finish this off here and now. I've kept these people in suspense long enough. So then I just went through the last little tidbits, went through the last dungeon, which netted me the Triforce, then took on the last, went through the last little tidbits, and then what kind of stalled me for another couple days was the Demise boss fight. Now, the first half of the fight, I was doing pretty good on that fight, in that part. It was the second half of the Demise fight that I'm going, I hate these freaking motion controls. And I'm kind of going, how the hell were people doing this on the Wii and then now doing this on the Switch? Because honestly, up until that point, I'd kind of come to somewhat of a, okay, this has kind of gotten a little bit better. Because if you guys remember when I did that because if you guys remember when I did my so far review, I'm like, I don't like these motion controls. And I'd kind of gotten a little bit better with them, though there were still some points where I was kind of going, what were they thinking? Why didn't they try to do a better button deal? Because there were two parts, this Demise boss fight and another part that I'm kind of going, oh my god. The other part I'm kind of going with on, well, actually 3 parts, because it's like when you're having to jump and try and maneuver Link, or whatever you named him, named the hero, and you're doing the falling, and you're having to try and maneuver him to land somewhere, because honestly, I completed the whole Gratitude Crystal side quest, and as you know, in order to complete the Gratitude Crystal side quest, you have to, for one of them, you have to get the Elder and bring him up into the sky, and he's sitting on one of the little he's sitting on one of the little spires that's in that volcano chute in the volcano area near where you find one of the goddess cubes. So you have to try, so you jump and then you have to try and land on top of those spires, where you also had to try and land there in the first place to get the goddess cube. Which, oh my god, that was a freaking hassle. And another issue was like when I got a little bit better at riding the Loftwing as the game progressed, and again, you have to pretty much go up, down, up, down, up, down. And then, especially like when you had to go all around to get to the different goddess chests to collect the different prizes, or go to the Thunderhead to learn the new songs. But the other part I had issue with was when it came time to the dragon, who is pretty much Levias, who is pretty much like this big protector in the sky, and you have to kind of like do this little boss fight in order to free him from Parasite. But it was like, oh, you need to, in order for me to allow you to do this, you need to master this spin attack on the bird. And it was kind of like, you have to hit these 10 targets in this amount of time. I had to redo that so many freaking times. It was not even funny. By the end of it, my arm was going, why? Why? And then the boss fight itself. Because you have to hit those eyeballs before you then land on Levias and then do the boss fight with the big parasite. It's kind of like, oh, good lord. It's like, yeah. But then, like I said, the boss fight with Demise was like the final thing where I was kind of cursing the motion controls. Because it's like, the first half, that's okay. Second half, because it was like, you have to do a Skyward Strike on him in order to be able to really do any damage to him. And for whatever reason, and you can only do a Skyward Strike on him when there's you can only charge up a Skyward Strike when there's lightning. For whatever reason, I was having to go, come on, come on, come on. And I swear, I was going, it took forever to get into a rhythm where the controller would go, okay, I'll let you go up and charge a Skyward Strike. I think I redid that boss fight like 10 or 10 or more times before it finally was like, okay, I'll let you do this. And then, so by the end of it, it's like, when it finally would actually let me do the final fight, where it let me consistently do the Skyward Strikes to beat him, I was like, my arm was going, you crazy. I was like, oh my god. But other than that, the game can just keep in mind, this was my first time playing through the game since I didn't have a Wii when the game originally came out. I enjoyed it because keep in mind, for those who are big Zelda fans, this game is in the Zelda timeline. Skyward Sword is the first game in the Zelda timeline that it has been proven factual that this is the game that starts us all off in the Zelda timeline. Like, this starts off Hyrule and everything else. So it's like, and as I'm playing through the game, I can actually kind of see it all, because it's like, oh, Faron Woods, like, this could be the start of like the Lost Woods and all, Lost Woods or Kokiri Forest. I can see that. Or the Elden Volcano. I can see that being the start of the volcano. Forgive me, it's been a while since I've played Ocarina of Time. I can see that being the startup for the Goron Mountain Range. Or, like I said, it's been a while since I've played Ocarina of Time. I'm sorry if I got that right. I can see that being the start for that mountain range. Or the Lanryu Desert. The Gerudo. Sorry, like I said, it's been a while. Well, basically where the Gerudo lived. I can see the Lanryu Desert being basically where they get where the Gerudo ended up living. And even then, even in Lanryu Desert, where they said they had a Temple of Time, and it does say Temple of Time, with how they set up the Sealed Temple, or Sealed Temple, or Hylia Temple, depending on like how you wanted it to be. Because if you go through the whole game and finish it, and then Link puts the Master Sword in its pedestal, if you know Ocarina of Time and stuff, and basically you go and pull the Master Sword out of that pedestal, I'm like, I can see that actually being the start of where what we know from Ocarina of Time, that being the Temple of Time for us in that game, I can see that being where the start of where they actually kind of make that temple. Considering, like, if you remember from actually how Skyward Sword goes, the Temple of the Gate of Time and that Temple of Time in Skyward Sword got destroyed, so the Gate of Time in the Hylia Temple, or Seal Temple, is actually the only functioning Gate of Time left. So it makes sense. So it's like, I can see that they build up the whole stuff around that. Especially after the dialogue that Zelda's like, I want to stay here on the ground and build civilization and stuff. Along with the fact that also Demise, when he actually, after you beat him and his fading consciousness is being sealed in the Master Sword, he's like, I will not go away completely. My corruption, my power, it will continue to manifest and will continue to fight you in whatever form and stuff. I'm like, yep, this This makes sense. This basically explains how we get Ganon in the Ganon and all his incarnations and stuff. Because I mean, it can, like I said, considering what we know of the Zelda timeline with since after all, if you go by the official Zelda timeline, since they've now said that since they've said that Skyward Sword is the beginning of the timeline, it makes sense now. But I had fun playing the game after I got through those first major hiccups in the beginning with some of the motion controls. Even though I did have like some those for some of the spots when it came to like the bird controls for some of the stuff, it was good. The graphics and stuff were wonderful. The storyline is wonderful and it fits well with the Zelda franchise. And like I said, since we do know of it being the first in the Zelda timeline, if you go through it and pay attention to what's going on in the storyline, and you're just not going like button mash, button mash to try and get through the dialogue and paying attention, it all fits. I'm kind of hoping that maybe now that we know about Fi, I'm kind of hoping maybe in a later Zelda game, she might make a reappearance. just because she was so unique and stuff, but you kind of never know what they're going to do. I just hope they don't do any more motion controls. My arm is going to kill me if they do that. I would definitely say 9.5. Because while I was not enthused about the motion controls, I have to understand that they were porting this from the Wii, which the Wii was heavy on the motion aspect originally, so they could only do so much. Stuff, so I understand that. I'm just kind of going, oh my god. I kind of can't wait to see what they do further on. And I can't wait to see like which further Zelda games they do, because we know they're going to do. They are working on a Breath of the Wild 2. We're hoping that they will port some of the other Zelda games to Switch, or maybe do remakes / remasters of other classic Zelda games. So we can only wait and see. Though honestly, if they do Twilight Princess, like a lot of us are hoping they do, I'm honestly hoping, considering Twilight Princess was both Wii and GameCube release, I'm hoping when they do that one, the button controls are a little more easier, because I really do not want to try doing that game with the motion controls, because I had a friend who had the GameCube version, so I did get a chance to at least play a little bit of the beginning of Twilight Princess. So yeah. So it's like, if they go either way with that one, they at least because that had both a Wii and a GameCube release, they have a button control. They have a clear button control layout for that one that they can transfer over. Okay, and as you guys kind of know, since I have been kind of talking about it, Ni no Kuni 2 Revenant Kingdom did come out last week. I do have my copy of the game, so now that I have finished Skyward Sword, I will start playing it. So I will, after I get to a certain point, I will give you guys a so far review on that one to kind of give you guys an idea on how that one plays out. From what I understand, there are going to be like a lot of, even though I haven't picked it up yet, there are going to be like certain factors on it that are about the same from the first game, though a lot of it is also going to be different too. Though there are a few things going on in my real life right now that are probably going to disturb some of that. There's been another medical emergency in the family. I'm not going to go into details. Let's just say Mom had another issue, and let's leave it at that. But because of what all happened earlier with the dog, I'm a little bit more used to doing things, but also because Ni no Kuni doesn't require the whole motion control stuff, I can at least be playing the Switch handheld, so I can probably do a lot more of that stuff and get back to you guys sooner on that. Yeah, because with Zelda, I could have played it with the Switch being in handheld mode and just been going but honestly, with Zelda, better to have a bigger screen. And honestly, that's about it. I will get back to you guys as soon as possible on stuff. And guys, considering we're still dealing with a lot of the COVID stuff, wear your masks. I know a lot of you guys don't like it, but we gotta try and keep those numbers down, people. I hope you guys stay safe, and I'll see you later. Bye.